The mind likes to prank itself when the world gets a little too wide. So here you are, craning your neck at the sky like a nervous astronomer, telling yourself the shapes up there are just clouds with dramatic flair, nothing more. Certainly not the long, slow undulations of something ancient drifting in the blue, just the wind sculpting vapor. Atmospheric gymnastics, perfectly normal to me and you. Your thoughts try to snap into reason, but reason feels flimsy when the clouds glide with intention. You mutter in your own head that there's no such thing as a sky Leviathan. Biology would have said something by now. Evolution doesn't just forget to mention 30-mile-long creatures doing laps above. Or would it have? It would have filed the paperwork. Still, your eyes track a shadow sliding across the sun, a shape too smooth for weather, too slow for planes, too graceful for coincidence. You tell yourself you're imagining it because you've been tired, because minds under strain see metaphors and then panic when the metaphors look back. You insist to yourself that if there were a creature swimming overhead, you'd hear something, a sigh of displaced clouds, a low hum, anything. Silence is not evidence of monsters. Silence is just silence. And there's that part of you, troublesome, poetic, annoyingly honest, that keeps whispering maybe the reason it's quiet is because the thing is real enough to make the world hold its breath. You try to stamp that thought down, crush it flat, call it superstition in a fancy coat. So you breathe, you look again, you tell yourself the sky can't hold monsters, it can barely hold the weather. And yet the horizon budges slightly, like something massive turned in its sleep. Your heartbeat goes uneven. You lecture yourself on physics, on common sense, on the universal rule that monsters stay in stories unless you invite them out. And you did not invite them. You repeat that until the world feels like a spell. You repeat it until the shape dissolves back into bright, harmless cloud. The moment it does, you cling to the relief, shaky, but certain enough. You decide this sky was just playing tricks. Vast canvases do that, but the idea lingers, a quiet ripple on the edge of your awareness, not a threat, more like a reminder that imagination is a muscle that sometimes kicks too hard. What a strange thing, trying to stitch certainty back together while the world stays so impossibly huge. You up there? Yes, you with the drifting mile-long silhouette and that smug, lazy whirl through the clouds. Listen closely, I see you, even if I keep telling myself I don't. You're not subtle. You're a parade float built by primordial nightmares, and you're doing laps like it's your personal aquarium. You don't scare me the way you probably want to. There's a kind of awe in you, the kind that presses on the ribs and makes a person feel like the universe has secrets it didn't need to spill. You glide like gravity. There's a rumor in existence as your playground. I'm half convinced you're not even a monster, just a creature that never bothered to file the paperwork saying you exist. I want you to know I'm trying really hard to pretend you're just another with delusions of grandeur. You make that difficult. Those called cloud slick fins, those slow bend of your body as you turn, that faint shimmer like the air's bending around you in respect. Impossible to ignore, and trust me, I've tried. But here's the thing, you don't feel hostile, not today. You feel watchful, like you're studying the tiny ground dweller who keeps looking up and arguing with their own brain. So let's make a deal, Sky Leviathan. You stay up there doing your cosmic backstroke, and I'll stay down here trying not to lose my grip on sanity. But if you ever decide to descend, if that shadow ever drops low enough for you to breathe to stir the trees, I'll acknowledge you outright. There will be no more denial. No more pretending the impossible is just cloud art. Until then, keep on drifting. The world is big enough to hold your myth and my fear side by side, and I'll keep watching the sky like someone who knows the truth is stranger and far larger than we have ever admitted.